Sri Jagarajan from CNBC. Is there a broad consensus ahead of the APEC summit that it's too early to withdraw stimulus, number one? Number two, just as we head into this summit, where are we, in your personal opinion, in the current economic cycle?
I think the leaders have discussed it at G20, and the consensus is that the economic stimulus has to be managed in a very careful sort of way, and you cannot just withdraw it suddenly, otherwise you will create new problems. How exactly it has to be phased out, tailed off, and how you balance the risks of withdrawing too quickly and administering too much adrenaline, that's something which will have to be discussed by the finance ministers and the central banks and calibrated as we go along. My sense is that we are out of the trough of the spasm which we experienced at the beginning of this year. In January, things looked very, very bleak in Singapore and in many countries. But partly because the governments responded, partly because America exerted extraordinary measures to prop up their banking and financial system, and partly because within Asia there's a certain momentum and drive innate in the economies, particularly the biggest ones, China and India. So we've come back to a stable position. In Singapore's case, slightly nose above water compared to where we were a year ago. If you take third quarter this year compared to third quarter a year ago, we are, I think, 0.8% growth. Nothing to crow about, but something to be grateful for. I think looking forward, we do not expect another dip in the economy in the immediate future. We expect the economy to continue to stabilize, but we are not seeing a dramatic recovery either, because our growth depends still to a considerable extent on what happens in the developed countries. Their recovery has been contributed to considerably by the economic stimuli which the governments have administered. As the governments withdraw this stimuli, you have to have self-sustaining growth to create prosperity so that you're actually spending what you are creating and not spending by borrowing. And we depend on that. And that is going to take some time, because to reach that position, you have to deal with the imbalances. Americans have to save more. Asians have to spend more, either investment or consumption. And financial system problems have to be sorted out. And all the toxic assets which preoccupied us not very many months ago and which have disappeared from the headlines now, I think they will gradually come to fruition, and you must decide how they will be recognized, on whose account they will be on, and which institutions will have to take the hit, and what happens then. Therefore, I don't see a rapid, dramatic expansion back. At best, a steady, gradual recovery, giving us time to sort these problems out. If they are not sorted out, and in due course, the stimuli are overdone, you have a new bubble, then we will have new problems to deal with. But that's down the road. We have time to worry about that yet.